Hello, good morning.
I'm
I'm
Jen.
I'm Kimberly. It's fine. And this is That Vegan Morning Show. Good morning.
Mixed up the order.
Ah,
Who
oh,
cares?
all the words came out. We're fine.
All the words came out, and it's a good thing they did, right? It's 7 a.m. I
We're both
barely slept.
exhausted. Yeah. Sometimes it's like very easy for me to be up and doing this and like ready to go at 7 a.m. And then other times, not so much. And today is one of those days. So please forgive any yawns. I will try to keep them away, but no promises.
Same. I've been
Yeah.
up since 1:30 trying to sleep.
Yikes.
But so Kimberly, how was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. I got to see a friend on Friday, and then I got to see you and your husband on Saturday, and we had
Yay!
a lovely day. And it's
It
like,
was lovely.
yeah, it's like every time were together, it's like, oh, good, like it's almost time, and then it's time, and then it's time to go home. And it's crazy how it happens so fast.
It is like insane how fast time flies when the four of us get together.
Yeah.
Or if you and I just get together also. It's like, wait, we just got here. It's time to go home.
Right, I know, and the last time we did that, we were so productive too.
We were.
It was, like, such a good day.
And good
And
food
then
also.
oh, yeah. And then yesterday was, like, kind of some chores, some errands, but then, working on podcast things and that kinda stuff. Finally got out a newsletter, which I hadn't done since December, so oops. But yeah, so that was my weekend. How was yours?
Very nice. That sounds like you had a good Sunday, very productive. So, yeah, Saturday we had a blast hanging out with you and JP. And then yesterday I did a little bit of chore stuff at home, but I actually had a me day. I dropped my son off at work. I spent some time at a local coffee shop that has good vegan stuff too. So, had that, did some work on the Confident Vegan stuff. And then I went to the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. They do a monthly art church event that is it's like a creative meditation where you have to be silent for 45 minutes. It's led by Alex and Allison Gray. They're visionary artists. I highly recommend checking out the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. And they just create this amazing space. And you can also attend over Zoom. You don't have to be there in person. And there's always a theme. And yeah, it's always interesting what comes through in that moment. And it starts off with Alex reading some poetry, some intentions, some stuff that he's written, some like poems that he wrote a while back to kind of kick things off. And then there's music being played. And yeah, you can't speak, go to the bathroom, do anything for 45 minutes. You have to sit in your seat and create. And
Okay.
then Allison closes it before everyone shares. And it's just a really beautiful experience. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
sounds
that
like
was
it.
that was a big part. That was my Sunday.
Awesome. I can't wait to go there with you one of these weekends once it like stays light
Yeah.
later, so I don't have to drive home in the dark.
Yes. Yes. Ugh, I would love if you came with me. It'd be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. So, we have quite a packed show today.
We do.
First up, we wanted to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl, which is next Sunday, because it is a horrific day for chickens specifically. And before
Mhm.
we hit go live on this, Jen and I were actually talking about how um, it's not even like a full day. So the range I saw from the National Chicken Council was 1.45 to 1.48 billion chicken wings are consumed on Super Bowl Sunday. And then Jen, you found a number like right smack in the middle of that. So that seems to be a very accurate estimate.
Mhm.
And we were talking about how Like the Super Bowl is only like 4 hours, right? And then if you're going to a party, maybe you show up an hour or 2 before, but this is not like an all day, like start in the morning and eat until, midnight kind of thing. This is billions of chicken wings within like a 6 or 7 hour time frame.
Yeah.
It's so horrific. And like that's like the main course, it seems, for Super Bowl Sunday, but that's not the only animal product being consumed. But another thing I hope people consider when we're thinking about this number of wings is that chickens only have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So that means that we are actually slaughtering 725 million birds for one day worth of snacks. These aren't even like a filling meal for someone to try to justify it that way. Jen, how are you feeling, or what are your thoughts about this?
It's just very sad because when I think of chicken wings, I'm thinking, okay, these are body parts attached to someone, right?
Yeah.
And I remember before I was a vegan, I didn't think about things that way. And that shifted and changed.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's just very sad, and it just kind of reminds me of where I was before Thanksgiving, learning about, what happens, like the volume of turkeys that are killed and consumed here in
Right.
the US for Thanksgiving. Um and so yeah, it kind of brought me back to that same place of how I felt for
Hmm.
that, because again, these are sentient beings, and they're not just, something you dump sauce on, right?
Right.
Um, and it made when I was like looking at all of these facts, it just reminded me back to my own journey of when I was in that like 2-year period of transitioning to being vegan. And I learned the more vegan recipes that I made that it's not about the animal flesh that we really want, right?
Hmm.
It's the textures and the flavors, mostly the flavors, right? The
Yeah.
textures we're just conditioned to from the foods we've been served growing up, most of us eating animal products. So that texture of those things we associate with comfort and, experiences, but it's the sauce or
Yeah.
the spices. And we don't need chickens to still
Mhm.
have that experience of a chicken wing,
Right.
right? First of all, there's a lot of products out there on the market. You can buy cauliflower wings, right? You can buy them already made, but then there's a lot of different products out there where you can buy them already made, or you can get some chicken tenders, right? The vegan chicken tenders, like from Beyond, and you can just coat
Mhm.
them in a vegan buffalo wing sauce, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you can even do something like that. But cauliflower wings are relatively easy to make. I've made them before, and the recipe that I followed, you take rice paper and wrap it over it, and then you air
Mhm.
fry it. And it gives it that like extra crunch.
Right.
And the non-vegan husband liked it, so so, um, you know, and that's what it is, right? As long as it tastes good. Really,
Mhm.
so if that's what it's really all about, socializing over food and snacks that taste good and they make us feel good because of the what we associate with those tastes, right?
Yeah.
Then why we can do it without the suffering, so why not opt for that option? So anyway, those are some
Exactly.
of my thoughts around all of that. What about
Yeah,
you?
no, those are great. Yeah. I made a list too of kind of well, first, regarding wings, I listed out, tofu, tempeh,
Mhm.
seitan, right? So you can make them at home, plus cauliflower wings, depending on if that's your vibe. I know some people are like, stop trying to pretend like cauliflower tastes like chicken. That's not what we're doing. Like you
Yeah.
were just saying, we're looking for those flavors, and cauliflower florets are like the perfect size for like a boneless wing, quotes, right?
Yeah.
And it's if you peel a cauliflower wing, sometimes it has that like same kind of texture as if you were peeling an actual chicken wing.
Yeah.
So even like visually, sometimes these foods can mimic kind of that experience as well. You make wings from seitan, they can have that same kind of texture. You can also buy tons of packaged ones, Gardein, Morningstar. I know not all Morningstar products are vegan, so you have to read the label.
Mhm.
But they do have wings that are vegan. Impossible makes like chicken nuggets, like you were saying, Beyond, toss them in some sauce. Um, Daring Chicken has wings, and they're shaped like a wing. So there's a way we can play on all of that, both visually and with the textures, and then with the sauces. And I'm pretty sure, last I checked, Frank's Red Hot buffalo sauce is vegan. The
Mm.
butter in it is imitation butter. So I mean, I'll verify that. We can update it in the show notes, but I'm pretty sure that that one is vegan, and that's kind of the one that most people here are very familiar with. Like if you're making wings at home, that's a very common wing sauce to be using. So so yeah, but like wings aren't the only options that we can have, during our Super Bowl party, because I know popular foods are like 7-layer dips or potato skins, chili, spinach artichoke dip. And then, of course, things like chips and salsa and guacamole, which are vegan, by default. And then it's so easy to veganize. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes so I don't miss
No,
anything.
that's okay.
It's so easy to veganize like a 7-layer dip. There are really good like vegan sour creams on the market now. You can easily make one at home with like 3 ingredients or something. So there are a lot of options. Potato skins, you can even find Bacon Bits. One of the brands, it's either Bacon Bits or Bacos. So I really should have checked this first. But anyway, one of them you can get at the store. They're vegan. They're not made
Mm.
with bacon at
Yeah.
all. Yeah. And so there's like you really can have all of the things that you're used to while celebrating either your favorite team, or maybe, your rival team has made it to the Super Bowl and you're going to watch anyway. Spending this time with your friends and doing this like annual thing can be cruelty-free, delicious, and fun.
Yeah,
You just
absolutely. And while you were talking, I was looking up something because another popular item is like the pigs and blankets.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you can take vegan hot dogs and cut them up and wrap them up in like a dough and bake it. And I was double checking because the Pillsbury crescent rolls used to be vegan, and I haven't used them in years, probably like 5 years. So I was Googling. Well, and apparently they aren't considered vegan anymore as of 2024. I was just reading in my
Mm.
search because of a change in an ingredient. So that's disappointing because that was
Mhm.
in a lot of like Pinterest
Yeah.
recipes that I had found and early on. It says because of L-cysteine hydrochloride, which is
Okay.
derived from animal feathers. So I didn't even
Mhm.
know that. So you learn
Yeah.
something new every day.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Field Roast makes pigs in a blanket that are
Oh, nice.
frozen, and you can
Oh,
just
that's
put them in
good. Then
the
you don't
oven.
even have to bother with the dough.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And they are vegan. So then they're pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like you can't go wrong with a nice veggie plate and hummus. Like, hello.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm always making that. And also, you can make if you're lucky and you live near a place where you can get some vegan pizza.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if not, you can make your own pizza, which I have done from time to time for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And if the non-vegans want real cheese, I'll make the dough. They're welcome to put whatever they want in their pizza, and then I make mine. So there's there's just really no reason why we can't enjoy the Super Bowl and not harm or support the harm being
Right.
done to other beings. So thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing that list. That was a good extensive list.
Oh, thank you. So we also today wanted to talk about kind of the wrap up of our Veganuary cohort.
Yeah.
So anyone not familiar, Jen and I led a kind of Veganuary online education slash coaching a little bit, but it really was more, I think, much more of an educational and interactive, almost like weekly workshop, I'd say. We had some great attendees who asked incredible questions,
Mhm.
and I was really excited that they were just as interested in the non-food areas that we discussed, and, like, open to asking a ton of questions around that as they were with the food stuff, which, you know, from a vegan perspective, most of us eat multiple times a day, so it's kind of in your face multiple times a day from the food side of
Mhm.
things. But it's always important to cover the whole gamut of what it is to be
Yeah.
vegan. And yeah, so Jen, what are your thoughts on like questions, or is there a question that stood out to you, or a topic we covered where you felt like we really dug in, or got something good out of the group?
Yeah, it was a really incredible experience. I love the group that we had, and I definitely hope we get to do this again next year. I think it was just a really great experience. And now that I know everything, it led me to I well, A, first I realized we do know a lot of stuff, right? Because it's
Yeah.
when you show up and you're teaching people, and it was just really cool seeing us both, sharing all the knowledge that we have. But then I also learned that what's obvious to me isn't always obvious to everyone else in terms of like food things,
Mm,
right? Like about
yeah.
plant milks, for example. There's tons of them in the grocery store, but if you're not someone who's going to be paying attention to that, right, you
Right.
may not realize just how extensive it is. And I know, it was great just sharing that awareness around the food, and teaching about different things, just about, other types of ingredients like quinoa, for example, or, there's this fear of tofu, right?
Yeah.
Right, and which has inspired us for something that we're working on
Yeah.
later this month. But yeah, like, because when my mom served me tofu back in the 80s, it was just like cut up in little cubes. I mean, I wasn't vegan then. We weren't vegan, but we did eat a lot of vegetables, and so sometimes my mom would toss it in a salad, and it was just weird and squishy to me, and no flavor. But that's the beauty of tofu, right? Because of that, it has so many capabilities. It's like a blank canvas of you can do
Mhm.
all kinds of cool things to it. So it was really nice teaching about that, sharing about other different misconceptions of veganism. We had great questions. We also had vegan participants, and it was just great, like learning from. I feel like we just all kind of learned from each other,
Yeah.
and shared different things, and I just loved it. It was a really wonderful experience. What about you, Kimberly?
Yeah, I would echo all of that for sure. And I really appreciated too how they were so willing to be uncomfortable
Yeah.
and to face kind of the realities of a lot of things, and then even to bring up what could be potentially controversial. Like in our last meeting, one of our one of our participants, we talked about kind of animals and entertainment, and they were talking about like our living with animals or having pets considered, an entertainment, like, because I'm amused by and I enjoy living with animals. So it does that fall under that? And we
Yeah.
had a great conversation where everyone was kind of able to look at what does it mean from like a captivity perspective, and is it our responsibility to take
Mhm.
in these animals because we've made them dependent on us, or is it a more like give and take relationship? And we were able to get into it. And what I loved the most was that we I don't think we all came to the same conclusion. I think we still left that conversation with some of us thinking, I actually feel this way, and this person probably feels that way. But the
Mhm.
conversation was so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really wonderful because when we look at the world as a whole in this moment, it feels like most humans are incapable of conversation. But being in that cohort together with people who are genuinely curious and just excited to learn something new and share their experiences of life and what even made them decide to join us while we're doing something like that. It just
Yeah.
was really such a cool thing. And we did talk through so many different topics over those 4 sessions, and it was just fantastic. I really loved it.
Yeah. I'm gonna echo everything, yeah, with what you just said. And while you were talking, also I was reflecting on like the homework assignments that we gave them, and
Mhm.
they participated in
Yes.
that. And sharing those experiences, like where we created, little relevant assignments for them to do, um, that fit the theme of what we
Mhm.
were talking about that night.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed that they went and did these things, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't about being perfect, but just trying, right?
Mhm.
Just trying it, exploring, creating that awareness around things. And yeah, that discussion around pets and animals and entertainment, I think was, yeah, it was a very rich discussion. There's a lot of context in that, right? And people have
Mhm.
different views
Yeah.
on all of those things, and are, all those types of situations where people would have pets. And also we had a really rich discussion about animal testing and like products, right?
Yes.
And that was also a very layered conversation. And that can be an uncomfortable one, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I feel like that is always an ongoing thing that I get better with, because you think something's okay. And then it's like, well, then there's a parent company, and then you have to really like, because again, it's hard to be perfect when we're living in a non vegan world. Right?
Yeah.
So we had this really deep discussion about just doing the best you can with whatever you can afford, right?
Mhm.
And if you're still doing something better, like if you're purchasing a product that, is vegan and has a leaping bunny symbol on it, but but there might be like a parent company or something, but the company itself is fine and more affordable, then hey, that's okay, right? Like you got to do the things that you're still make taking a stand. You're still sending that message that hey, this is the type of products I'm going to support, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so again, it's just about doing the best you can in this crazy world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah, I I just was so impressed by everybody's questions and their curiosity,
Yeah,
and yet the way they came, like you were saying with the homework, the way they showed up the next week. And that's how we were starting every session was, how'd you do with your assignments? And then like, what leftover questions do you have from last week? And when I say we say assignments and homework, like they didn't have a ton of stuff to do. We each
yeah.
week we gave them 2 things or 2
Mhm.
questions to answer or 2 things to look at. And one week we asked them to start to formulate responses to when people give them a hard time, or
Yeah.
ask them, "What are you doing? Why are you eating this way? Why are you buying that product? what's wrong with you, those types of things. And they I think when they came back the next week, they had felt like, even if they didn't have, here's how I will answer this question, here's how I will answer that question, they came back and seemed much more confident in knowing, like, okay, I've got this. This is kind of the vibe I'm feeling, how I'd like to respond. And it was just really great.
Yeah. No, it really was. And I was, and there was another assignment about, looking up like an animal sanctuary and following that animal sanctuary. Um, yeah, I feel like they were just great little exercises to help people think about things
Mhm.
differently. And
Yeah.
look, that's how it started for us at one
Yeah.
point, right? We saw information that made us go, "Oh."
Right. Yes.
And then it spiraled from there, and here we are now.
Exactly. And you alluded to it at the start of this section of our conversation, but one of the things that has come out of this Veganuary is that Jen and I are going to host a tofu making class, or
Yeah.
a tofu preparation. I keep saying tofu making, and I'm like, oh no, we're not like making the tofu. We're not coagulating soy or anything like that. We are taking store-bought tofu. And we are
I have
going to
no
be
idea how to coagulate soy.
exactly. We are taking store-bought tofu, and we are going to show you a couple of different cooking techniques, so that you can nail that, because tofu seems to be that one ingredient that people are afraid of, or they've had experiences like you mentioned when you were a kid, where it's just this like mushy little bleh in a meal, and you're like, "Ugh,
Mhm.
I'm not eating that again." But like, people have been eating tofu for thousands of years, so
Yeah.
there's definitely something to it. And once you can confidently prepare it at home, like your uh your options, your vegan options at home that you can make, go through the roof,
Mhm.
because tofu can be used in so many ways. So we are very excited about that. Maybe we could put the information in the show notes, or somewhere where they can reach out to us to get
Yeah.
more information about
It's
that.
a great idea. Yeah, we can include something in the notes. So if you're watching the replay, we'll put that in there sometime, probably today, by
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah.
at the latest. um, yeah, and also someone brought up a very good question in there, and that was, what if you're allergic to soy?
Yeah.
And there are tofu alternatives that you can make at home. I've never made it myself. I have so there's a product called Burmese tofu, where it's basically tofu made from like chickpea flour, garbanzo bean flour. I've seen people make it on Instagram and YouTube, but I've never made it. I have bought already made Burmese tofu. They just
Mhm.
called it chickpea tofu from the where I get my normal tofu. And it's
Mhm.
pretty good. Like, it's got like a firm texture to it. It's and it tastes different from tofu, but again, you season it up and it takes on all the great qualities of it. Um so yeah, we're going to also add an element to this about those other types of tofu
Mhm.
substitutes.
Yeah.
So, so whether you can have soy, can have all of it.
Right.
It'll be a fun class for you.
That's right. Yeah. And you get to cook with us. We're going to send to everyone who signs up, we're going to send kind of the plan, so that you know how much, and a shopping list, how much tofu you need. And we're going
Mhm.
to do it on a Sunday afternoon Eastern time. So it gives you the opportunity to use it as meal prep for the week, or to have tofu for dinner that night. We thought that that would work out really nicely. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it will probably be our dinner after that.
Yes. Same, for sure.
Multitasking. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, it is like almost 7:30.
it is time to go.
Time went by fast.
Yeah. Jen, do you have anything going on this week you'd like to share?
Um, let's see. I started a cookbook review series on my channel. So I posted the Peaceful Kitchen a couple weeks ago. So I did a little vote, and the How Not to Die cookbook is the next one I'm working on. I don't know if I'm going to have that ready for Wednesday.
Okay.
Because yeah, so and I don't have anything else yet. I have some things that I'm going to be recording later this week and into next week. So I may or may not be posting a cookbook review on Wednesday. I may not be posting anything on my channel this week. So I
Okay.
can focus on things.
That's
So,
all good.
what about you?
Well, I'm so glad you asked because today is a new episode of Did You Bring the Hummus?
Yay.
And my guest is Forrest Tierce, who you have also spoken with. He
Hmm.
is the US project director of Dharma Voices for Animals. So we talk about Buddhism, veganism, and he has the most unique take on my hummus question. So it's
Oh, I
definitely worth
cannot
listening
wait
to.
to listen.
Yeah.
Forrest is great. We had a great conversation on the Confident Vegan as well. So I look forward to hearing all about that or
Yeah.
listening into it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we will wrap things up. We just like started and then it's like, oh, it's
Yep.
time to
Every
go.
time. Every time we spend time together.
Exactly. Whether we're doing it here or
Yep.
but at least we were coherent and awake. So
Yes, I know. I don't think I yawned once.
me either. But as soon as I'm not talking to you, Kimberly, I'm probably gonna
I
get
know.
sleepy.
Once we hang up, it's like nap
Exactly.
time.
All right. Well, everyone, please let us know what your thoughts are. What are your Super Bowl suggestions? Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments. If you want, let us know what you do to veganize your Super Bowl, and if you have any other questions or comments, just let us know, and we'll respond as soon as we can. And
Yeah.
with that, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.